What's up, guys? Today we're diving deep into the world of automotive modifications, specifically the ones that'll make any real car enthusiast cringe. You know what I'm talking about, those mods that somehow manage to make your car worse in every possible way while emptying your wallet at the same time. We've all been there. You see something cool on social media, or your buddy shows up with a mod that seems awesome at first glance. But here's the thing, not all modifications are created equal, and some can actually destroy your car's performance, value, and reliability. So buckle up, because we're about to go through the top 10 car modifications you should absolutely avoid. Whether you're new to the car scene or a seasoned veteran, this information might just save you from making some expensive mistakes. 1. Straight pipe exhaust without tuning. Let's start with everyone's favorite way to annoy their neighbors, the straight pipe exhaust. Look, I get it. You want your car to sound like it means business. That deep, aggressive tone that turns heads and sets off car alarms. But here's what actually happens when you just cut off your mufflers and catalytic converters without any proper planning or tuning. First, let's talk about back pressure. Your engine was designed to work with a specific amount of exhaust back pressure. When you completely eliminate this by straight piping, you're throwing off the entire exhaust scavenging process. Think of it like trying to drink through a straw that's too big. It just doesn't work efficiently. Your engine management system gets confused, your fuel mapping goes haywire, and you actually lose horsepower across most of the RPM range. 2. Extreme camber. When it comes to ruining perfectly good cars, extreme camber might just take the crown. You've seen these cars? They look like they're trying to fold themselves in half, with wheels tilted at angles that would make a geometry teacher have a nervous breakdown. But the problems with extreme camber go way beyond just looking questionable. Let's start with the physics. Your tire is designed to make maximum contact with the road surface. That's literally its one job. When you tilt it at extreme angles, you're reducing that contact patch to a tiny fraction of what it should be. Imagine trying to stop quickly in the rain when only the edge of your tire is touching the ground. It's not just dangerous, it's downright irresponsible. But the problems don't stop there. Your entire suspension system was engineered to work with specific geometry. When you throw that out the window with extreme camber, you're putting enormous stress on every component. Ball joints wear out in months instead of years. Wheel bearings start screaming for mercy. Your control arms experience forces they were never designed to handle. And don't even get me started on tire wear. We've seen $200 tires completely destroyed in less than 1,000 miles. 3. Fake vents and badges. Let's talk about something that's become an epidemic in the car community: fake vents and badges. You've seen them everywhere. Badges on base model BMWs, Type R stickers on regular Civics, and enough fake vents to ventilate a skyscraper. But this isn't just about aesthetics, it speaks to a deeper issue in car culture. First, let's understand what real vents actually do. Functional vents serve specific purposes: brake cooling, engine heat extraction, aerodynamic pressure release. When engineered properly, they're precisely positioned and shaped to manage airflow. Real performance badges represent thousands of engineering hours and significant performance improvements. Slapping a fake vent or badge on your car is like wearing a counterfeit Rolex. It might fool some people, but anyone who knows what they're looking at will immediately spot the fake. 4. Ultra cheap coilovers. Time to dive into one of the most dangerous money-saving attempts in the car community: ultra cheap coilovers. You know the ones I'm talking about, those $200 sets you find online that promise racing performance at a fraction of the cost. But before you click that tempting buy now button, let's understand what you're really getting. Quality coilovers are precision engineering marvels. They use high-grade steel, sophisticated valving systems, and precise spring rates calculated for specific vehicle weights and applications. The cheap ones. We cut open a set of $200 coilovers and found shocking differences. Thin wall construction, basic monotube designs with primitive valving, and springs made from lower-grade materials. The damping characteristics were inconsistent between sides, and the spring rates varied by up to 20%, something that could cause dangerous handling imbalances. 5. Underglow in 2024. Underglow, the modification that refuses to die. Born in the early 2000s and immortalized by The Fast and the Furious, this trend somehow keeps finding new victims. But it's not just about looking dated. There are actually several practical reasons why underglow is a problematic modification in 2024. First, let's talk about electrical systems. Modern cars have incredibly complex electronic architectures. When you start splicing into the electrical system to power underglow, you're introducing multiple potential failure points. We've documented cases where poorly installed underglow systems have triggered check engine lights, disabled safety features, and even caused total electrical system failures. Modern cars are sensitive to voltage fluctuations, and cheap underglow kits often cause exactly that. 6. Giant wings on FWD cars. Time for some aerodynamics 101 specifically. Why that massive GT wing on your front-wheel drive economy car is doing more harm than good. This isn't just about aesthetics, it's about understanding basic physics and vehicle dynamics. Let's start with the science. In a front-wheel drive car, the drive wheels are, obviously, at the front. Under acceleration, weight transfers to the rear, reducing front-wheel traction, exactly what you don't want in a FWD car. A massive rear wing creates downforce at the back of the car, which can actually make this problem worse. We conducted wind tunnel testing with a modified Civic, and the results were clear. That big wing was creating significant rear downforce but making the front end lighter at speed, the exact opposite of what you want in a FWD platform. 7. Window performance stickers. Let's address the elephant in the room, the belief that plastering your windows with performance brand stickers somehow makes your car faster or more legitimate. This trend has become so prevalent that it's actually created a fascinating psychological study in car culture. First, there's the practical safety issue. We conducted visibility tests with various common sticker arrangements, and the results were concerning. Even a modest collection of window stickers can reduce rear visibility by up to 20%. In wet or nighttime conditions, this gets even worse, with glare and water retention creating dangerous blind spots. Multiple insurance companies have confirmed that excessive window stickers can actually void coverage in accidents where visibility was a factor. 8. eBay Turbo Kits. Now we're getting into seriously dangerous territory, the infamous eBay Turbo Kit. Nothing says I hate my engine quite like strapping on a $500 turbo kit and hoping for the best. Let's break down why this is one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. We send various turbocharger components from both budget and quality kits to a metallurgical laboratory for analysis. The differences were staggering. The budget turbos used inferior metals with inconsistent heat treatment, leading to drastically shorter lifespans. The bearings in these units showed significant wear after just hours of operation, and the shaft play was often outside acceptable tolerances right out of the box. We documented turbine wheel failures occurring at speeds well below their rated maximum. 9. Cutting springs. If there's one modification that makes professional mechanics cringe harder than any other, it's cut springs. This budget-lowering solution is essentially automotive surgery with a hacksaw, and it's every bit as dangerous as it sounds. Let's understand what springs actually do. They're not just about ride height, they're precisely engineered components that work in harmony with your shocks and entire suspension geometry. Each spring is designed with specific rate progressions and load capabilities. When you cut them, you don't just lower the car, you fundamentally alter the spring's characteristics in ways that are impossible to predict. We tested cut springs on a spring rate machine and found that cutting even an inch can increase spring rates by 30 to 60% in completely non-linear ways. 10. Excessive sound system. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about excessive audio systems, because apparently, some people think turning their car into a rolling earthquake machine is a good idea. But this modification causes more problems than just angry neighbors. Modern car electrical systems are sophisticated and precisely balanced. When you start adding multiple high-powered amplifiers and subwoofers, you're putting enormous strain on your alternator and battery. We measured the electrical draw from various popular audio setups and found that many exceed the alternator's output capacity at idle. This leads to voltage drops that can affect everything from engine management to safety systems. We've documented cases where excessive audio systems have caused airbag system warnings and even disabled critical engine management functions. After going through all these modifications, you might be wondering what you should do to your car. Well, good news, we'll be covering that in our next video. The key takeaway here is that quality modifications require three things: research, proper planning, and yes, appropriate budget. Remember folks, there's nothing wrong with wanting to modify your car. It's all about doing it right. Every legendary build started with someone who took the time to learn, plan, and execute their vision properly. Don't fall into the trap of quick, cheap solutions that'll only cause problems down the road. What's the worst car mod you've ever seen in person? Drop a comment below it and share your story. And if you want to learn about proper modification techniques, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. We've got some great content coming up that you won't want to miss. See you next time.